It says 0 down. Okay, we're good. We're good. What's up? I got scared for a second because the bit rate read 0. It took a while for it to get up to the 6,000 kilobits per second that I usually like to have it pinned at. Hello. Welcome to the live stream. I'm not playing Mario Kart Wii this time. I figured I wanted to kind of go down the list. When I first saw the first notification today, I thought it was your live stream. Was it? Hello, Measles Land. Yeah, we gotta talk about that. Let's just jump right into it. I was considering potentially having the music going. There were Minecraft streams on my channel in months and years past where I had some music playing in the background. Discord and uploading video. Oh, okay, it was the video segment. Right. So, I'm doing this a little bit later than usual, but why is Minecraft in French? This is a way for me to keep in practice with my French. I play a lot of Minecraft, so I have it set to French, so I read French and am used to seeing French, so I don't get, like, too out of practice. In fact, I've been meaning to start watching some, like, French movies and stuff as well. I want to have some, like, language skills and stuff like that. And I actually think that, like, taking language classes in college did me kind of a discredit in that sense. I did not function well in a language environment. I thought you were going to say it was your first language. No, my first language is English. French is my second language, and I can read and comprehend it at about a college level. That's right. We are back in the creative world. I'm surprised I never see that challenge. Play a very wordy game in a different language so if you can beat the game. Yeah, I mean, I've had enough practice with this that I basically remember what all this stuff is for the most part. Like, I can instantly connect the dots in my head, which is good. But again, I need to get more in practice. Anyways, no music this time because we got important stuff to talk about. First and foremost being the worst possible nomination was confirmed, and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is now the Secretary of Health and Human Services for the United States of America. Mr. fucking the coronavirus is a Jewish conspiracy to target ethnic Russians orchestrated by China and the Jews. That's the same guy. You see how disappointing the Democrats were when they sent that post to Twitter? We're on a ship that's exploding at this point. Yeah, the Democrats did not. Well, let's say they fumbled the ball a lot. That's putting it mildly. But I'll get to that actually in a bit because that actually pertains to some stuff that I've done recently as well. And I feel like I could talk about that in a separate kind of bit. I don't know if segment would be the right word. That implies I'm going to edit it later. We'll see. But yeah, RFK Jr. was confirmed by the United States Senate to be the Secretary of the Department of Health and Human Services. He's anti-vax. He's gotten dozens of kids killed with his anti-vax campaign. Bro has literally filed a lawsuit to take down the polio vaccine. Same guy that denied vaccines and has a weird voice. Yes, that's right. The vaccines are potentially dangerous. I feel like that was actually a pretty good RFK Jr. impression. I just had to make it sound like I was fucking dying and also about to throw up. He sounds like a person that didn't take the vaccine. That's true. No, he's vaxxed up. As is characteristic with the anti-vax types, he doesn't actually believe in anything, right? Like, he's vaxxed. Why is he playing Minecraft? Because I feel like playing Minecraft today, and also I had an idea for the Minecraft world that could involve chat a bit more. How can a person go, yeah, kids getting paralyzed ain't that bad? Simple. He's evil. I wish there was like a... I mean, I could give a big, complicated academic explanation about how there's incentives to seek profit above all else, and then you select for the most sociopathic people, and they rise to the top, etc. But the simple version of it is just that he's evil and is okay with kids getting killed. Earth-K regulating foods even in Minecraft. He was built for this. So true. Speaking of food, here's a cute little farm that I designed. Um, I've actually been trying to introduce more like thematic construction to my Minecraft world. So sometimes I won't just build a farm. I'll build it with like a particular theme in mind. For example, if we go over here, the Minecraft world has really blown up even since I've last shown it on stream. We have this giant farm that's meant to be like the central food supply for the city. And then we go over here. Here's a farm that does not involve any tilling of dirt. You could make this farm without ever crafting a hoe. And that's the theme. That's the theme that I want to introduce with it. Hey, what if I made a farm that was entirely with stuff that you didn't use a hoe to till dirt for? Hey, look, a city with not roads everywhere? Yeah, because there's no cars in Minecraft. I built a little, like, rail system. This rail system is actually due for an upgrade. I've been thinking about what to do with that. But yeah, since this is Minecraft, the primary way of getting around is, number one, walking, number two, horse, if you have a horse. I'm not one of those, like, modern construction savants that can build one of those giant, like, ice boat roller coaster things. Like, that's not my jam. I like how popular Minecraft content has gone from griefing server and trolling dumb kid to building creative world, hardcore world challenge over the years. We've matured out of the blowing things up as cool phase. Yeah, I think that actually that's actually really nice to note. If anybody knows the Minecraft channel Alexa Real or something like that, Alexa Real, Alexa Real, I don't know how it's pronounced. Their gimmick used to be just building stuff, and in fact, you know, it's now like, oh, here's these weird, interesting things about the actual game engine of Minecraft. It isn't just like blowing shit up anymore. In fact, some of the most interesting videos, very short videos too, that I've seen them create is they use a command to generate a really weird structure of TNT on a super flat world, blow a big hole in the ground, and then go in and fill in that hole and build something that looks really cool. And that's some cool content. And that's like, I think the fact that that's not necessarily lowest common denominator, but more towards the lower common denominator end of Minecraft content, makes me feel good about the Minecraft community, because it shows that, you know, people love to play this game as a sandbox game. You know, even in the hardcore worlds, they're building some crazy shit. Never mind the fact that most of the YouTubers that do the hardcore challenges cheat and do things to make it appear legit when, you know, there's a lot of tricks that you can do to basically fudge a hardcore run. Nonetheless, the fact that people find the prospect of you going in on the hardest difficulty and building something massive in your world is, I think, good. You know, city urbanism enjoyers stay winning. The autism train having a cultural capital has also taken over Minecraft. Conditions will improve. Nice. Massive? Yeah, like big. Low taper fade? Ah, what? I don't know what that means. Anyways, yeah, so that was the theme for this farm. These were supposed to be like clouds, because I wanted to light these up. There were actually mobs spawning on top of these. So I had to figure out a way to stop that from happening. Is it fun that every fascist makes their buildings look like giant gray bricks? Yes, and it's a perfect encapsulation of how fascism is an anti-art movement, and how an anti-art movement looks when it attempts to produce something that is artistic and also essential for society to function, which is it sucks at it. You know, if you've seen any of the giant like super cities that the Nazis envisioned, it's just a bunch of gray like rectangles. It's boring as hell. Yeah, it is how they see the world. But anyways, that was the theme for that farm. And then the theme for this farm is food that actually doesn't restore that much hunger at a time if you eat it. You know, stuff like beetroots, carrots, melons. This is supposed to be for like apples and things like that. No wonder they get mad at people for using graffiti. Yeah, they actually, I'm not even going to like sugarcoat it. They actually hate to see the world made beautiful by individual ingenuity. When you go to a wealthy neighborhood and all the people there are complaining about these like punks putting graffiti everywhere, that graffiti is what's going to stand the test of time. I can tell you from having been places that have a historical city, a lot of the stuff there is just like street art. You know, street art survives the test of time more than some random, like, cheapo apartment development does. And I think that's for the better. But, you know, the average suburban Hitlerite just wants to see property value go up. And, you know, art gets in the way of that, so they don't like it. But back to RFK Jr., and then on to the premise of this live stream. RFK Jr. was almost certainly nominated for two reasons. And what he is in charge of the Department of Health and Human Services to do is two things. Number one, he's supposed to be a distraction. That doesn't mean that anything that he does isn't going to have fucking disastrous consequences. I mean, even before he, you know, got in, they've already been freezing funding to the National Institute of Health, to cancer research. They literally joined the war on cancer on the side of the cancer, you know, and that stuff is obviously going to continue under RFK Jr. But he's supposed to be like a set of keys that they're jangling in front of you to basically try to draw attention, instead of to the shit that they're doing behind the scenes, to something outrageous that he said, if that makes sense, you know? So that maybe they'll catch some liberals like, oh my god, RFK Jr. is such a buffoon, rather than, look at all this fucking cancer funding that they're taking away from America and stuff like that. You know, it's like they're jangling keys in front of you, but the keys are also like radioactive, you know? Most of the things we know about Pompeii are from the people who graffitied shit like, I fucked many beautiful women here on the buildings. They are so real for that. I love that for them. And then, of course, also it's to facilitate, you know, on that end, it's to facilitate, RFK's presence is to facilitate the transfer of wealth upward, because he's in bed with the pharmaceutical industry, contrary to the talking points he's offered. You know, when Bernie Sanders grilled him in the hearings, it was very clear, bro does not care about healthcare as a human right. Bro does not want things to get better. Bro did not even remotely commit to not working in the pharmaceutical industry as per like the revolving door of politics and shit like that. He's just completely vacuous, you know? That's the 1-2 punch. And then, of course, because the oligarchs that are in charge of the government are all also evil, they don't care about things getting worse for everyone all the time, so they're fine with it. Republicans are laughing behind your back as they steal your rights. Yeah, behind your back and sometimes in your face. But today, this live stream is going to be a little bit different. This is why I was hoping some people would show up, and this is why I didn't hold off until this evening to do this. I wanted to get some chat input for the buildings in this world. I have some ideas for houses and stuff, for commercial buildings, for whatever. I basically want to start building. If you see here how like along these railroads there's neighborhoods and stuff, I basically wanted to extend this neighborhood. I've already built some stuff here. Extend this neighborhood out this way to the point that it actually meets up with this little rail section here. And you see there's the rail station there, there's a part of the city over here. Basically, I want to make the city a continuous, like, thing, you know? So you never really have to leave civilization just to get to another rail station and stuff. Colored walls of the floor will make this place look a bit more pretty. You mean for, like, the sandstone bit? Because if so, I don't know if I could... Well, there is always the fill command, but not very good at using the fill command. And also, I feel like the fill command would also, like, kind of suck for this, because a lot of the houses have floors at ground level, so, like, replace this. I don't know. But what I wanted to do was basically, I want to get chat to tell me what materials to use for any given building that I'm building. You know? And we'll see how it goes from there. Two houses and buildings. Oh, like use colored wool for the floor in the houses and stuff. Yeah, I've done that a few times. It depends on what materials I'm using, but colored wool for the floor is a good early note. And just let me know what color you want me to use, and then I'll do that. Oh, outside of houses. Which version is this world? Goes from desert savanna climate to temperate climate in the space of a moderately large river. Yeah, this world actually was originally just a super flat world on the redstone preset. And then I decided, because that was like, it got kind of boring. So what I wanted to do was basically port in a Minecraft world to this world. I used an NBT editor to change the world type from super flat to default. And so the world generated around it. The problem is, this is in the middle of an ocean biome. So water started flooding the area. And I had to actually, there was a lot of, I felt a lot of pressure because it could have permanently flooded the city if I wasn't fast enough. I had to go around and just fucking cobblestone wall the hell out of this. This wall extends for like thousands of blocks. And this world is on version 1.21.4. I did the reverse Trump flood. Yeah, I built a big, beautiful wall to keep all the water, the big water, out of the city. You've never seen anything like it. It's beautiful. The city can exist peacefully, all because we built a great, big, beautiful wall out of cobblestone. To remove the water they got out with sponges. Yeah, I'm aware of that, but I didn't like... it was like a sunk cost fallacy thing. I had already started with a cobblestone, and I didn't want to switch up strategies at a moment's notice, because the I would have to place sponges all at the corners, and it would look a little bit awkward and stuff. And also, it didn't occur to me right away. I was like, shit, I'm just going to keep building with the cobblestone. And it's done now, you know? The Netherlands called. They want to hire you to keep the disgusting water from the Gulf of America away from us. True. It's still called the Gulf of Mexico. The Gulf of America thing is just a virtue signal. You can remove the sponge after it takes away the water. The water won't come back. Not if it's a source block. That's the problem with this, I think. Is it was that, like, if there are two source blocks of water, they will, like, adjacent to each other, they'll fill in whatever's, like, in between them, right? They'll keep doing that infinitely, unless you put something on the corner and leave it there. I didn't mean the whole entire ocean. I just meant the one water that got past the wall. Oh, no, this is fine. I'm okay with this, because this is not like, this isn't source blocks. This doesn't pose a real risk of, like, flooding the city. But anyways. So, that's what's up for this world, for this live stream. I'm going to try to go, see, there are some ideas that I have for, like, what kind of houses I would want to build. I just got, like, through a phase of building a bunch of split level stuff. And I want to start, like, want to build something else now. It could build, I actually, some of the houses I'm most proud of are the really small ones. Like this. Like, this is something that, you know, maybe not with smooth sandstone, but you could build this in survival mode. You know, with a few alterations. Maybe you don't use a lantern, because that's pretty iron heavy for the early game. But, you know, if you use regular sandstone or cobblestone or stone or whatever. Watch the most recent episode of Invincible. Oh, did they come out with a new season for that already? I think I'm probably gonna wait to see if it's good before I watch it. On episode 4. Ah, okay. Well, in that case, I might wait for... It's usually like 8 episodes per season, right? So I think I might wait for the season to finish, and then I'll start watching. So I could, like, pace myself and not have to worry about, like, the cliffhanger shit. This is an original design. I kind of like this. What do I want to build? All right. I just built a bunch of these. This is one of my new favorite house designs. This is built based off of, loosely, a real, like, house, small house, like a blueprint that I'm sure exists in some development somewhere. But, you know, I changed the shape of it to be more like Minecraft a little bit. Last episode will come out on March 12th. Okay. So about a month from now. Maybe I could take some inspiration from this house. This is a duplex. And it looks weird because there was a garage here, but I was like, I'm not going to build a garage for a house in Minecraft because there's no fucking cars in Minecraft, and also I hate cars. So I just built a house like this. But this shape is interesting. Maybe I could have, like, a garden. House almost looks like a face. Oh yeah, like the mouth there, and some eyes. You hate cars? Yes. I am your average not just bikes viewer. Okay. Alright, so I think I've got an idea of what I want to build. Now I'm gonna, let's start, I guess, pink wool. Seen, Cars to community, the planet, and everything. Yes, Cars, now you have to come to the Netherlands? Yes, I've heard Netherlands is very nice for bike infrastructure. I like cars, but I hate car-centric infrastructure. Valid. That's fair. There's plenty of people that are, like, car people. You know, they like cars. It's almost like, you know, as a kid, you like playing with the Hot Wheels, like the toy cars, and then you grow up and you like cars, but, like, not toy version. But I feel like everybody hates car-centric infrastructure. One time a person on a truck ran over my brother, stole his bike, and got away with it? Jesus, dude. People just be going through it. I'm sorry to hear that. Okay, but now that I've got, he wasn't permanently damaged, well, that's good. Now that I've got an idea for what kind of house I want to build, what kind of material should I build it out of? I got the note about colored wool. But what else should I use? I'm just using pink wool for a stand-in. I don't know what color you guys would prefer I use. I don't know which color would match. That's okay. Sometimes I default to, like, a certain type of wood and log, like with this, or with a lot of the oak wood stuff consistently looks pretty good. And then this combo, the sandstone and cobblestone, will look pretty good. And then there's occasionally an oddball one that can look good, like this green concrete and then these dark oak logs, if you use, like, the tinted windows and stuff. And then some of these I got from, like, oh, here's how to build such and such house. This one I tried to do something a little bit interesting with. Like, what if I just had a swamp-themed building in the middle of the desert? And I kind of went in on it being swamp-themed. Because I added a bunch of mud and some little puddles and stuff to make it feel like you're kind of in this, like, wet, gross environment. But there's, like, cute apartments here. And I did, like, a water elevator for each of them. This house reminds me of Minecraft Story Mode. I never watched that. I never watched or played Minecraft Story Mode for that part. Pig about to walk around with an Ender Dragon head. I'm aware. I've heard that the pig was a prominent character in that series. Hmm. First part of Minecraft Story Mode is free, then you have to buy the rest of the parts. That kind of sucks. Well, I don't know. I mean, I guess the pig died in the first third of the story. Damn. Person built like a jungle house, but it had lava, and the community hated him. And you can choose if he keeps the house. I never played it either. Yeah. Not gonna lie, if you built a house in the jungle and you had lava in it, uh, I'm voting that he can't keep the house. You know, sorry. Like, at least put the fucking lava out. Like, get that lava out of here. You know, you're gonna burn down the whole village. What was his name? Jair Bolsonaro? That's a good one. First season's free on Netflix, funny enough. Huh. Absolutely doesn't matter at all what you choose. Yeah. The rest of it is lost to history. Maybe that's for the better. I shouldn't be too mean. It is legitimately at a wider scale. It's a problem that there's like a lot of media that just gets lost to time once all the subscription services decide that they don't care about it anymore. But you know, I'm sure there will be some media that people don't miss too much. Most choice games be too expensive to make. Like animations. That's why D&D games are like imaginary. Yeah, aren't a lot of like games where choices meaningfully impact the story, like either D&D or like text-based adventure games and stuff, where most of it is just like a static image background at most and like a text. Yeah. That's kind of the trade-off, right? Because it's less of a commitment to make a scene in a game or to make a certain segment of a story-driven game. Until Dawn, that's one of those games that matters. And because the game is short. Yeah, that's the other thing too. If you're gonna have like a game that's more than just that, you probably do have to make it pretty short so you don't overload everybody. Because the hype cycle for games is so prominent in the lead up to their release that it can lead to either development hell or a game getting rushed. And you don't like if you're making a longer game that has choice driven gameplay, I feel like that's like a recipe for failure because you get consumed in the hype cycle because everybody's excited about the concept. But then because the game's really long, you have to program a bunch of unique paths and then it just kind of like it gets stuck in limbo or it releases and it sucks. Czech Republic flag. Oh yeah, I had a phase when I was building these houses. I was really interested in flags and like vexillology and stuff. In fact, I actually made a bunch of. There's a pattern for flags that I really like, and it's the flag convention that the Catalan flag uses. Even though I think that in a lot of ways the Catalan independence movement is kind of cringe. Uh, and also the American flag and the Catalan flag have a very cool basic pattern to them, where you have either the rectangle in the corner or the triangle on the side, and then you have the smaller stripes. I kind of like that. Every step and try to make her choices matter. And it took longer and longer with each installment. Yeah, that's the problem you run into, because it's like it's an exponential thing, right? If you make a choice matter early on and it's like a binary choice, now like the lead up to the next set of choices is going to take twice as long or more. And then if you have another set of branching paths, then that's going to take even longer. The more choices you put in your game, the more you have to create, and the more you have to uh the more you have to commit to like writing various different stories within the game. That's why a lot of games will not have will be more of a sandbox where it's less directed. You know, like if you're going to have an on rails story, kind of like a movie, like a more cinematic literary experience, you can't really do the whole your choices influence the course that the game takes. Where with something like Minecraft, where it is definitively not that kind of experience, you know, I can make any one of a million choices and the game just takes it in stride. You don't really have to write it. Does that make sense? Now, what should I build this house out of? I had an idea that there are some blocks that go really well with like light blue colored wool, and any old school folks will know that white wool goes well with a lot of stuff. And also I think there's, yeah, here, red wool in particular goes well with birch wood. I think it's a really nice color combo. Even with D&D though, the creator doesn't just write the story; he goes along with it to make it up as he goes. Yeah. Lord of the Rings Hobbit house? Oh, you mean with like the low ceiling and stuff? I mean, your character in this game is like 6 feet tall, so it's not that low of a ceiling. This is like about the height of a ceiling in a regular house, probably. It's kind of janky. Like, ceilings in a normal house could be anywhere from this height to like 3 blocks, you know? Because your character in this game is a 6 foot tall Giga Chad. Like literally, his jawline is so chiseled, it's literally just a rectangle, you know? But yeah, this little kitchen area. This is one of the split level houses that I built, where it's like the entryway is here, but then the one floor is down here and the other floor is up there. You don't enter on either of the floors. Down here is a little kitchen area. Isn't Steve 6'4"? No, I think he's 180 centimeters. He's slightly shorter than 2 blocks. And 2 blocks is just 2 meters. You know? Love me some Shire architecture. Please make one of those in the plains area. Okay. Let's do that then. Shire architecture, you say? Oh, right. Okay, okay, okay. Let me look up the yeah, like the Lord of the Rings stuff. Sometimes I don't really like playing games where you don't really matter, because people who argue against your choices in the game are super funny. 6'2" apparently, or 188. Okay, okay. They might have done like a, yeah, here's the official height of Steve thing. Okay, I think I have an idea then. If we want to go for some Shire architecture over in the plains, first of all, I'll have to take this book with me. This is just a note to myself. The format in which I like to do this is, for each neighborhood, I build 10 houses, or 10 residential buildings, and then one non-residential building. And one of those residential buildings has to be like um, uh, a form of like denser housing. So you'll see there's like some apartments or dorms, you know, or over here, I actually, because the plains are such a good area to build, I said, what if I did one of those development cycles where I basically exclusively built duplexes, triplexes, row homes, or apartments? And that led to this. They're not all super close together, because, you know, in super flat, you can literally just build on the flat ground, but here you kind of have to create the flat ground sometimes. These I really like. I think the cyan and yellow actually go decently well together. I always built those in every server I'm in. The like Shire stuff. What I interpret Shire architecture as is basically you make something the shape of an igloo. It's kind of like a dome, but instead of building it out of snow, you're building it out of like grass. So I'm gonna do that. And don't worry, I have mob griefing set to off, so the Enderman actually wouldn't be able to come by and pick up one of the grass blocks and just run away with it. You know? Alright, let's get one of these doors. I think that would be good. Is that a bed inside of a tree? Yeah, it's a treehouse. This is actually a really easy thing to build in survival mode. You don't need much to make a treehouse like this. See, look at that. Little cubby for the bed. And some of these logs I actually manually placed so that all the leaves would hold. Look at this. You got a little window. Yeah, I love treehouses. Usually when I make a treehouse, I modify it more. Oh, yeah. There's some, like, styles of treehouse that are like that. I find that sometimes my preferred method of building a treehouse is to essentially just take a big tree and modify it basically as little as possible. Because that's really good for survival mode. It's really easy to do that as like a day one base or encampment. Alright, let's start making this Shire house. Currently at 1. So I've built one house in that one neighborhood. Okay. That's not the right key. That's the right key. There we go. Once I've finished this house, that will be at 1. So, this looks like a good area to start. Ooh, I've got a big boy idea. Okay, so we're gonna have like a primary room here. Right? Kind of like that. And then we're actually going to also make like a smaller room off to the side. Remember Clash of Clans? COC? Cock? That's so true. Basically like Imperialism, the video game. Yeah, it was a little while where that was a nice meme that everybody enjoyed. There's a world I built in 1.7.10 where I've built a gigantic apartment complex and the villagers spread so much. The game is completely broken, like the initial server. The internal server is laggy beyond playability. That's really funny. You may have to do some entity calling. How do I want to build the side room there? Do you think you'll ever add villagers to your city? No. Probably not. Because fundamentally, this is a world that I do in, like, I play this world a lot in single player. And fundamentally, I built the world first and foremost, like, for myself. You know? Basically, I don't want to share with the villagers in this game. This actually might be a little bit too small for the design that I'm thinking of. Here, let's extend this. Let's have this be 5 instead. Right? Do something like that. 5. Okay. We should zombie epidemic and cut the numbers down. Didn't take long for them to start breeding again. Yeah. Okay. Then I think I could probably do something like this. I need to extend the slope a little bit. I'm gonna bring this out a tiny bit. So that still looks like relatively normal. Yeah. So that basically this can be on flat ground. Imagine being a villager, see some godlike creature float around aimlessly for half an hour. I mean, you know, the villagers in my world have had that experience. There's a village over that way. Um and oh, there's also one over that way. And you know, I've flown around there for a while. Let's make that be like a little doorway, I think. And I think we've got the basic shape of the house. And then I'm gonna start. There's gonna be windows and doors and stuff, obviously, but I'm gonna start like creating the general shape of what I want here right now. Actually, I want to have that there so that it's still, so that it looks a little bit like a dome. You need to be grass. And then this can just be like this. Right? Kind of looks like ass, I'm not gonna lie, but maybe I needed to make it bigger. For a second, I thought you were gonna make a crop circle. Reminds me of a turtle. Ah, it kind of does. It was a little bit like a turtle. Maybe if I do something more like this. And then, like, here, we'll take that out of there. Now, this is really going to be a Hobbit hidey hole. Okay, that actually looks a lot better. I like the way this looks actually a lot better if you look at it from this angle. Yeah, that's good, that's good. Ooh, here's something fun. We'll do a little skylight. Yeah, grass tank. And we'll do something like this. That's it. Yeah, that looks really good. I like that. So you have the little, it's like the window dividers and stuff. And then this is gonna be a bedroom. Let's have the door be facing the. Oh, that looks good. Yeah. We'll have the door be like facing the apartments over there. Then maybe the bedroom can be in here. Or actually, I think I want to have the wall kind of like that. Yeah. Put a door here. Roads in the rebuilt version of my town, which has witches and villagers driving around in minecarts for eternity. Isn't that something like where the mobs can be put in a minecart, but they can't like get out on their own? That's kind of funny. Or they like can't get out until the minecart actually stops, but the minecart doesn't stop ever. I may have just heard my cat knocking at my door. Okay. So then this can be a little lounging and like kitchen area. And then this will be the bedroom. The bedroom. The chambers. Reminds me of Mr. V saying he hates forever games. Yeah, and I don't disagree that like forever games can be, well, they can suck. But I feel like Minecraft is one of those games that it's more like a medium for you to just play in the sandbox. You know, kind of like drawing is. Like drawing is a forever game, right? But yeah, gacha games and those kinds of games are the fucking scum of the earth. No, that's not what I wanted. I'm gonna look for a Hobbit house. I can't make the circular entrance, that'd be kind of difficult. At least with what I've already committed to, it'd be pretty difficult. These aren't showing me like the inside of it. Oh, this one is. So I'm talking about the other guy. You talk about the Republicans tweet about what they did for a minute or two. Oh, the Republicans. The Republicans tweet something this time? I meant the Democrats. Oh, yeah. Okay. Now is actually a really good opportunity. I'll just use a brown bed for this. Now is a really good opportunity to talk about the massive failures of the Democratic Party and how they've actually frustrated me particularly so hard that I started, that I did something about it. The Democratic Party might not literally be paid opposition, but it is in effect how they behave. I'm open to both arguments of them being like actually controlled opposition by the capital class, because effectively they are, and to them just being so hideously bad at their jobs that they like are indistinguishable from that, you know? Personified by this Axios article. Everybody fucking knows about this Axios article. Scoop. Unless you don't, in which case that's fine. You know, I mean, like, people who follow politics, they know about this Axios article. Trump's been on the Dutch news every single day because of the buffoonish shit he's been doing? Yeah. Sometimes it feels like we only have one party and it's fascism. It's because the Republicans are the only party that's really active enough to be considered a meaningful participant in politics, you know? Like, it's not great, but that's what you get. But yeah, so the Democrats were, quote, pissed at liberal groups Move On and Indivisible. These are two activist groups in the United States that do a lot of work. I'm gonna put a little bedside table here. With the Democratic parties at the local level, at the state level, at the national level as well. And that actually doesn't look as good. There we go. And we should do the other way. And there was a meeting recently. Here we go. A closed door meeting for House Democrats this week included a gripe fest directed at liberal grassroots organizations, sources tell Axios. And I think Republicans at a point, yeah, maybe they were cooking about the Democrats being the enemy of the people. Nobody hates their constituency as much as Democrats do. It's kind of wacky. People are pissed, said a senior House Democrat from the meetings. Wait, no. People are pissed. A senior House Democrat from the meeting said of lawmakers' reaction to the calls. Okay, I thought, when I first saw this article, right, I thought that they were saying people are pissed, like, yeah, our voters are pissed, so they're giving us a lot of calls, which is like the most straightforward thing I could think in that situation. But no, they're saying that apparently the Democrats are pissed that their constituents are calling them so much. The absolute fucking nerve of the Democrats. And that's exactly how you know that these calls work. Calling your representative works. So it's a good idea. Yeah, they're fucking entitled babies who can't handle public office and are mostly sailing by due to just the force of political inertia at this point. Yeah, this could be a good spot for like a desk or something. Yeah. That might just make them want to do it more. Do what more? Like snub their own constituents? Too fucking bad. Then we'll call you even more. And I will ban that guy. Oh, that, yeah, actually, call them more? Yes, Gotron, you're absolutely right. Because this led me to call my representative when finding out that they were actually present at this meeting and expressing, like, frustration with the fact that, like, oh my god, our constituents are calling us so much. I was like, you know what, you fucko? I don't call you enough, you know? they're gonna, the Democrats are really gonna like snub the progressives at every turn and then complain when their do-nothing politics gets them a bunch of like frustrated phone calls from grassroots activists and their constituents and stuff. I think that looks good. The Democrat said, the same senior level Democrat that I referred to earlier. This Democrat said Jeffries himself, House leader of the Democratic Party, is very frustrated, quote unquote, at the groups who are trying to stir up a more confrontational opposition to Trump. Guys, can you stop trying to make us more oppositional to Trump? He won. We have to do what he says now. Stop telling us not to do what he says. Fucking pathetic, spineless wretches, these people. Literally, this is the opposition party complaining that their constituents are telling them to behave like they're in the opposition. I wish I had the slap button. True. Well, actually, yeah, beta behavior. You can look up who your congressperson is and call their office. That's a thing you can do. Their phone numbers are all public. If you just take a second to write down a couple notes in like Notepad and then go look up their phone number and call them. They're usually not there, but their office is staffed with people who will take your call, and they'll relay that to the congressperson. And make no mistake, congresspeople see how many people call them. They might not know like all the details of all the calls that they receive, but they are aware of how dissatisfied they are with their with the Congress's performance. How do I find their number? Let's do that right now, actually. I won't do it for you specifically because I don't want to dox anybody. But check this out. Congress phone numbers. Or here, actually, U.S. Congress members. They are all listed publicly. Members of the U.S. Congress. Here you go, congress.gov. Thank you. Rain sounds very cool. Right? Or what you could do is just Google U.S. Congress, let's say Virginia. That's the state that I live in. Members of the U.S. Congress, Virginia. There you go. Here's all the Congress people from Virginia. And then you look at one of these people. Let's take a look at, who's currently in office? Buyers in office currently. What browser is that? That's Opera GX. Because I'm a gamer. Filters. Okay, here we go. Check 119. These are the people who are currently in con. Oh, here's Gerald Connolly, fucking guy who's currently chair of the whatever committee. Gerald Connolly. Phone number. This is congress.gov. You can see I Googled U.S. Congress members. The first result is congress.gov. Jerry Connolly phone number. Contact U.S. Representative Jerry Connolly. They're legally required to post this information publicly so people can call their... Oh, the website is blocking it? Or the camera's blocking it? Here you go. U.S. Congress members. First result. Members of the U.S. Congress. And then I Googled here. I just picked Jerry Connolly. Jerry Connolly phone number. First result. There you go. Contact Jerry Connolly. I don't know if, it's probably not like anybody in chat who has Jerry Connolly as a representative, but there you go. Washington, D.C. office. There's the phone number right there. You can just call that phone number. There are no, requirements other than that. You just got to have something to say. I did this with my representative. Of course, they weren't there, but one of their staffers took the call. For some states, you might need to find out, what district am I in? And then just Google that state, that district congressperson. And then take that congressperson, Google their phone number. There you go. You have their phone number. It's kind of nice. I think this could use a little bit of spruce wood. Maybe? No, maybe not. Maybe not. We'll see. Maybe in a bit. Now let's make like a dining area. Like a little lounge. There, look at that. Continuing with the article. A spokesperson for Congressman Jeffries disputed that characterization and noted to Axios that their office regularly engages with dozens of stakeholder groups, including MoveOn and Indivisible, including as recently as Monday. Notably, they did not say that he wasn't frustrated. They just said, oh, he talks to them all the time. He doesn't listen to them, but he talks to them. How do I find that people, the area? I got you. Let's go back and try this again. Members. So you want to check, there's a little box here. If you get to the Congress members page, you want to check this one because that's the current one. Here you go. Members by U.S. state or territory. And then they're alphabetical. For some states, they're actually small enough. DC doesn't have any real representation. For some states like Delaware, they're small enough that you'll only have like one House representative and then 2 senators. Regardless of what district you're in, you can call either senator. And for states like this, you know, you can call the one House member too, because it's all just one district. Maybe because I'm on mobile, but the thing looks different. Oh, okay. What if I put m.congress.gov? Never mind. Insecure website. There should be a filters bar somewhere. What was that hat? This? She's dressed in her Sunday best or something. I don't know. Weird warning thing. Oh, I don't think that's actually like the address. I just kind of put M before congress.gov. Usually it's www, but I put M because sometimes that's like the mobile version of a website. Like if you put m.wikipedia.org or whatever, you get the mobile version of Wikipedia. I wanted to see if the same thing applied to the Congress website, but apparently it doesn't. You could also Google U.S. Congress members and then your state. Let's do Pennsylvania this time. Oh, wow, look at that. Well, that's the auto results. I don't know how many. Oh, look at that. Wikipedia's got it. Thank you, Wikipedia. Very cool. Here are all of the representatives from Pennsylvania. Again, I just picked a random state that I could think of. Wikipedia's got you covered. And this is a way easier site to navigate than fucking... I get some random Republican. I'm sorry. Make no mistake though, it still does help to call your representative and let them know that you're dissatisfied with them, even if they are a Republican. Because even if they're, Republicans are evil and will never do anything to benefit anyone, but they sometimes care enough about their own skin that they'll have to like do some political bargaining chips kind of play to placate people in their district. So it's not as effective with the Republicans as it is with Democrats because Democrats are a weaker opponent. But still, every like dissatisfied phone call that piles up on a congressperson's like desk does matter. There are a lot of people in the United States. There are a lot of people of voting age in the United States. Of those people, shockingly few call their representatives and congresspeople, Is that... Maybe I should do something like this. Yeah, I think that's better. That gives me a little bit more room to work with here. Name's apparently Nicholas Begich? What? That's crazy. Oh, yeah, there he is. Representative Nick Begich. His full name is Nicholas Begich III. That's funny as fuck. Oh, he assumed office this year. Huh. Political party Republican. Okay, because this guy's from Alaska, he will probably, like, of all the Republicans, he might respond more to public pressure because Alaska is a big union state. It's not literally like population big, but there are a lot of unions that have a presence in Alaska. Like, Alaska is more friendly to unions than other states and stuff like that. Yeah, trust a Republican to sound like some Austro-Hungarian nobility. True. It do be the average Republican having some name like Nicholas Begich III. Anybody whose name is something like the third deserves to get a wet willy, probably. What do I say then? The union has their eye on you. In parentheses, menacingly. Yeah. No, I mean, it's probably, you know, you'll want to, like, think about it. And like I said, you know, write something down in a notepad beforehand. But I think you could mention about how, like, you know, you're letting Elon Musk run the government, who hates unions and wants to, like, get rid of all our Medicaid and Social Security checks, you know. You know, conveniently, when he talks about fraudulent spending in the government, he never mentions the Pentagon. And he only ever mentions the shit that poor people benefit from. You know, his flower pot or something. Something like that. But yeah, the point being, bloc de magma. I mean, yeah, block of magma, right? Like, this is the same, it's the same root word. Just like obsidian is obsidian. Glowstone is just glowstone. Thank you, French Minecraft. Very cool. Lampe à redstone. Let's create... Ooh, I have an idea for how I want to handle the furnaces and stuff. So, okay. I'm not going to do this with the smoker, but I will do it with these, I think. Right? One of these is better on top, usually. Better, like, on top or bottom. Okay. If I get cobblestone... Yeah? And then do something like this. Yay. Where's the cobwebs? I'll do the I'm gonna do this little chimney thing. And then I'm gonna, like, go back to that article because there's a couple more details there that I think are juicy for driving up the amount of hatred that people feel for like the Democrats, which will lead to people putting pressure on them and stuff. Yeah, that looks good. That looks good. You can look at that from any angle. It kind of looks like a puff of smoke coming out. Sometimes I wish having the same name as your parent should be illegal. Where there goes the entire country of Greece, and also some other places in Eastern Europe. You know, Greece, when it is made illegal to name your child after another, like, aunt or uncle or member of the family, and it's just they just slowly disappear. Seriously, Greece does that a lot, which is really funny. But yeah, sometimes it can be pretty cringe. Junior and a number doesn't excuse it either. Yeah. In a way, this could be like me being a little bit reactionary, but I do in some ways I do think that like you should let kids choose their own identity in many different forms, but that being one of them. Here, let's put a few barrels up here like that. Or maybe like this. Sure. And do you have to crouch to get under here? No, you do not. Haha. Steve is a short king. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe I don't do that. Ah! Put that back. I don't like my middle name, so I pretend it doesn't exist. I'm sorry you got the raw end of the deal with like a middle name and stuff like that. Now I'm running into another problem where I have here. I'm gonna not do the. Maybe I could put the anvil like over here or something. Yeah, there we go. I'll have a little lamp there. Or actually, oh, here we go. I think I've solved my potential problem here. I could put the anvil here and the crafting bench here. Have a little lamp to light it all up right here. There we go. This is like a workstation or something. Name my kid something, so I have something to call them through their childhood. If they want to be called something different once they're old enough, then that's totally fine. Yeah, and you know, in a way, I feel like the whole like having a legal name kind of cements this problem for me. It's like your fucking government name or something. What even is Samuel? I like the name Samuel. Very American name. Yeah, true. Samuel L. Jackson. You ever think of that one? But to each their own. Here, I'm gonna I'll put a flower pot there. A little fern. Bougie. That is actually what that's called. Wait, no, I didn't need the, this thing there. This, yeah, there we go. It's funny that names are also, like, forced identity upon you. Yeah, I know. I mean, that's kind of the problem that I have with them, right? Like, names are just, like, you can choose your name. But the problem that I have sometimes is that, like, with like, legal names, there's like a name that is bound to you by law that it's really difficult to change, which can suck. I mean, we've even seen the consequences of this with Trump's administration being extremely transphobic and like writing trans people out of the law in certain ways. Yeah, because like if trans people want to change their name to reflect their identity, they now are legally not allowed to do that anymore. And that's fucked up. And yeah, people are realizing this in a broader sense. I guess, you know, I'll even admit I'm kind of realizing this in a broader sense now because this is the case with trans people. Like, why shouldn't somebody be allowed to change their name? You know? I feel like we need a couple more windows. I have a couple there. Funny that my name is Noah and I'm against Christianity. I guess, you know, like it's just people having names that are like referenced in biblical literature isn't necessarily like you are now bound to the Bible, right? Like it's people were named Noah before Christianity. Noah's a pre-Christian name, as is Jesus and Joshua. Christians wish that was the case. They do wish that. Yeah, I mean, a lot of religions rely on the institutions of normalizing, forcing an identity on top of people, you know? A lot of religion at its fundamental core is anti people's right to choose what they want to be for themselves because, you know, well, it's a hierarchical institution that revolves around the worship of an imaginary paternalistic authoritarian figure in the sky, you know? And of course, because it's also that, like, very poetic, like it's, you know, opiate of the masses and some such, people do with it what they will, but, you know, that part is always going to be there. Oh, wait. Big idea. Where's the rose one? There it is. That's a nice painting. There we go. People like symbolism, but I think it's kind of stupid, to be honest. I don't know. It is what it is. Anywho. I promised I would get to the rest of this article, and I haven't yet. Where were we? Oh, yeah, Jeffrey's spokesperson basically said, nuh-uh. But didn't actually refute the whole they're frustrated with the activist groups thing. What they tried to refute was like, no, we talk to activist groups, we talk to our constituents and stuff. When the talking to them is usually telling them to shut up and trust the plan, and the plan is absolutely nothing. Zoom in. There were a lot of people who were like, we've got to stop the groups from doing this. People are concerned that they're saying we're not doing enough, but we're not in the majority, said one member. These fucks. Sounds like we have to become high school bullies? Yes. We need to be mean. Be mean to politicians. They fucking signed up for that shit. You know? Like, the progressive politicians, for what little influence they have been killing it. And then, meanwhile, the Democrats have control over one of the largest political parties in the world and have decided to do absolutely nothing at all. Grab one of these. Wait, better idea. That statement is the Republicans let themselves be the minority. Stop them. No. I think that, like, autocorrect probably murdered that message. But yeah, I did actually want to mention that, you know, Republicans were in actually not too dissimilar of a position in 2008. They had lost everything. They lost the popular vote by a landslide. The Democrats had more of a mandate in 2008 than the Republicans have ever had in the past 30 years. And the Republicans didn't let that stop them, you know? Like, the Republicans in 2008, did they just fucking give up and resign themselves to eternal defeat as a political party? Fuck no. They moved heaven and earth. They let the Tea Party in. They majorly revised the internal structure of their party just to get back to the seat of power. And they did. They got back to the seat of power. They won in 2016 with Trump at the head of the presidential ticket. They won the election in 2024 again with Trump at the head. They now control all three branches of government because they made major changes. Realized, okay, something isn't working. We need to change and be more active in the way that we pursue power, in the way that we build a broad political base of support from below. The reason the Tea Party was so successful and the MAGA movement was so successful, where the Democrats weren't, is because the Republicans embrace the populist aesthetic first. They don't do it very well, but they have it where the Democrats just straight up do not. Or rather, the Democrats, they don't just not have it, they just reject it out of hand. Imagine how much better things would be if Republicans behaved like Democrats. Honestly, I feel like things might actually just not be that much better. Because if the Democrats still behaved the same way, we would still be getting the slow decline and stagnation and stuff. You know? But we wouldn't be in the spot that we're in right now, that's for sure. I'm hiccuping a little bit. I still don't know what I want to use as the floor. Although I have an idea for over here. There we go. Make a less depressing news cycle. That's true. That is true. And actually, you know what? Maybe things would be a lot better right now if Republicans behaved like Democrats do. Of course, again, it's like a hypothetical. It's a historical counterfactual. We're not living in this world, so sometimes it's kind of pointless to speculate. But Joe Biden, legitimately, one of the only good things that he did was support unions. And if the Democrats were like more on par with Republicans with their very like do nothing institutionalist behavior, that means both parties would be offering a lot less resistance to the resurgence of labor rights. What if our counter to reality because of what? There we go. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to have some wool. Oh, yeah. The what if scenario is by definition anti-realistic. Yeah. What if scenarios are kind of like that. And especially when they deal with things that have already are already part of a bygone possibility and stuff like that. You know? Some Democrats, going back to the article here, some Democrats see the callers as barking up the wrong tree given their limited power as the minority party in Congress. It's been a constant theme of us saying, please call the Republicans, said Representative Dawn Beyer, Democrat from Virginia. That's my representative. And the moment I saw that, I was like, all right, you arrogant, fucking contemptuous, anti-democratic fuck. You're getting a phone call from me. And you deserve this phone call. Whenever I hear stuff like this, it makes me glad this party is dying. Yeah, this stuff is an insult to me. This, like, directly to me and all the other constituents that the Democrats represent. Motherfucker, our representatives are not Republicans. They're Democrats. That's who we're upset at. We're not upset at the Republicans necessarily because we know they're evil already, right? We want to defeat the Republicans. We're upset with you because we elected you and you're not doing jack shit. We need to dox his phone number right now. His phone number is public. You can Google Dawn Beyer Congress phone number, and it'll come up. In fact, that's how I found his phone number. I just called that, and I got to his office. I got through to his office. I reject and resent the implication that congressional Democrats are simply standing by passively, said Representative Richie Torres, notably not listing anything that the Democrats are currently actively doing, because they are, in fact, standing by passively. Can I see the name? I'm not good with word typing. Well, don't call Dawn Beyer because he's not your representative, right? You should call it your representative, you know? The reason that made me really mad at Dawn Beyer, that's what prompted me to call him, by the way, is because I live in his district. He is my congressional representative, right? I voted for him because, you know, the other alternative was a Republican or an independent that was basically a Republican, you know? It's like, well, you know... And at the time, I was like, okay, I'm not going to shed any tears about having to vote for Dawn Beyer, right? Like, there are people in Congress who have a worse voting record, but now he's exposed himself as basically the worst that the liberals have to offer. You know? So precisely because he's annoyed at the number of phone calls he's getting from his constituents, I decided to, you know, contribute to that annoyance. Because he deserves it, quite frankly. Maybe I could use some... orange wool? I don't know. What I want to do with this house is have like a little square of wool outlining this seating area and then have this be wood planks. In fact, I think I could do this. I remember when V says Democrats treat people in power like a Make-A-Wish Foundation award before people die. Yeah, it is very much like that. The Democrats treat being in political power like it's not a political office. They're treating it like it's a fucking I don't know, some kind of like 9 to 5 thing, when like you're making law for the most powerful country in the history of the world, and they're not acting like it. They're like, oh, that's not our responsibility. We're only the fucking most powerful elected legislators in the world, you know? So, you know, we gotta concern ourselves primarily with whose turn it is to be in charge of this incredibly important committee or whatever that whose job is to like make appeals to the general public, and stuff like that. This could probably also use some wool. Here, I'll do something like this. There we go. The only people that should be allowed in power are revolutionaries. And if you're not, get out. Yeah, honestly, like that was part of the message I left him. I called his office. I think this looks nice. I called Representative Byers' office, and I said, look, first and foremost, my concern is you need to let the progressives take the reins. You guys, you and the rest of Democratic leadership need to abdicate your position and put people like Representative Cortez, Omar, Tlaib, and Presley at the top. You need to let them be the ones running things, because they actually have real political aspirations. Like the Democratic Party engine has long since stalled, and I'm not seeing, like, you guys are doing nothing. I'm not seeing them do anything. You know? In fact, my senators, I remember, they voted yes on some of Trump's nominations. I'm surprised they even had the willpower to get the job. They got the job. Here's the thing. You remember that counterfactual, what if the Republicans were just as abstemious as the Democrats? That was the circumstance under which all 3 of my congressional representatives got the job. Don Beyer has been in politics a long time, since before the Tea Party. Tim Kaine has been in politics a long time, since before the Tea Party. Mark Warner has been in politics a long time, since before the Tea Party. When my dad was working at the DNC, Mark Warner was already a mainstream fixture in state politics. They were already insiders when they ran for office. They didn't need to have the willpower to actually get the job. You know who had to have the willpower? AOC, Ilhan Omar, Rashida Tlaib. These are all progressives that got their seat by primarying Democrats that were insiders. Please tell me your dad was better at his job than that. He was. He was an opposition researcher at the Democratic Party, and this was before the days of the internet. He had to get down and dirty with it. But again, some of the stuff that he had to like get down and dirty with would be stuff that like doesn't even remotely matter today, because it was a very different Democratic and Republican Party back in the day. But yeah, no, my dad was not one of those like spineless fucks that would just capitulate to the Democratic Party. And I think he only worked for like a couple cycles there. I'd have to ask him though. Like legitimately, he actually in one of his research, I don't know, in one of the things he was opposition researching was a small like state level Democratic primary. And that's sort of where you got the beginnings of the Democrats actually being paid opposition. At the time, the Democrats actually weeded out Republican plants in the party. This used to be a more common thing. Republicans would smuggle conservative candidates into the Democratic primaries, and then once that their preferred candidate had won the primary, they would drop out of the general election and concede to the Republican. You know, extremely dirty tactic. And there was one race, I think, in Kentucky where my dad did some research and uncovered somebody who ultimately I don't think made it to or past the primary, but they dropped out because it was exposed that that they had a lot of ties to the Republican Party and to like industries that were supporting the Republican Party, and it was pretty evident that he was just gonna like drop out and support the Republican, which would like guarantee the Republicans won. So yeah, my dad was pretty good at his job. He still has major opposition researcher brain as well. Huge nerd, and I respect him for it. Just like the Democrats or people that grew up watching TV shows. And that's how you get to diplomacy. What? Anyways. Now let's see what Axios noted from, oh, like kid TV shows where they're just like, please be nice. Yeah, it was a little bit more from that time. You know? But even back then, you know, my dad was very much on the like, I think you guys need to stop being such a bunch of like dinosaurs. This was back in the day when like there were anti-abortion, pro-tobacco Democrats in the party. And my dad was among the cohort of people that at the time were like, what are these people doing here? You know? Although back in the day, it was also a different environment in that the Democrats actually did kind of believe in stuff, which is not as much the case anymore. Let's create a little, not quite like that. How do I want to do this? I want to make a little gravel path leading up to that. Did you just spawn a villager? No, that's a wandering trader. They just spawn in every now and again. Axios. The other side. People are angry, scared, and they want to see more from their lawmakers right now than floor speeches about Elon Musk, indivisible co-founder Leah Greenberg told Axios. Indivisible is urging people who are scared to call their member of Congress whether they have a Democrat or Republican and make specific procedural asks. That's good activism. Like I said, those calls pile up, and as we saw, the fucking like politicians get annoyed enough that they'll actually say, you should stop doing that. You know? Yeah, that looks good. Our supporters are asking Democrats to demand specific red lines are met before they offer their vote to House Republicans on the budget, when Republicans inevitably fail to pass a bill on their own. Move on officials declined to comment. Okay. So they got a couple comments from Indivisible. Democrats' growing tension with their grassroots. Damn, so these tensions run pretty deep. Democrats' phones bombarded with calls to fight harder. As warranted. Be careful, news reporter. You might be arrested by the government. Yeah, at this point, you know, people reporting on the news are more likely to get the Democrats pissed at them than the Republicans. Not necessarily in the sense that the Democrats have any power to, like, tell federal agents to arrest news reporters or whatever, but in the sense that the Democrats are like, you're being so mean to us. Stop calling our phones and stuff like that. There we go. A nice sec here. Let me put some grass back around this house. There we go. Nice little hobbit house. This hobbit house was brought to you by my fucking hatred of the Democratic Party and their abstemious lack of political aspiration and you know, capitulation. Nice. But yeah, that did actually, I thought that was worth mentioning specifically because I think that's a good sign for 9 out of 10. Thank you. It was, you know, it's kind of a first. I don't frequently do houses shaped like this. I thought that was worth mentioning because I think it's actually a good sign that the grassroots are now active enough that they're being upset at the Democrats, particularly for the Democrats snubbing them and saying like, guys, stop calling us. We want to go back to doing nothing, even though we're saying that we're not doing nothing. We're providing no evidence that we're doing anything meaningful, you know? And the more these tensions grow, I think the sooner we get, the more likely it is, rather, that we get some sort of internal party takeover by the progressives. Because there's one of two things that could happen here, right? Like, the Republicans are in power and the Democrats have given up, which is making the Democratic, coalition really mad at them. The liberals, the lefties, all those people. Two things could happen from this. Number one, the Democrats could fold to the left and make some sort of reform inside the party, in which case the left would, take over the party, or the left takes over the party forcefully by primarying people, etc., etc. Or the Democrats muster up the last amount of political life they have left in them to continue shutting progressives out at an institutional level, excising them further from the party, in which case the Democratic Party is not long for this world, and it's likely that a third party would take its place to represent the left. In either scenario, the pressure continuing is good, because eventually that's going to lead to some sort of institutional representation by the left if the left keeps pushing on the institutions, by making these phone calls. Which one do I think is more likely? Probably the Democratic Party takeover option. But stranger things have happened. And I don't think that there's a realistic possibility that the Democratic Party remains as it is without any meaningful threat to its existence. Because the more they try to remain as they are, the more they alienate their coalition, the more they guarantee their eventual political death. And I think that, like, they like, if they accept some reforms, like if they kind of willingly let the left in, then great, the left is in, we get to do some stuff in the Democratic Party, our message gets put more to the forefront, and we do the takeover that way. But if they decide to still be hostile to the left, then what happens is they get primaried. And the primary rhetoric is not going to be kind to Democrats. Part of the biggest critique that a lot of the constituents have offered to Democrats is exactly what they said, which is that, like, oh, you guys are being too mean. That's the rhetoric that the Democrats currently have to offer, and not any of the actual, like, Elon Musk is ripping this country to shreds limb from limb. He's a apartheid lover, supports genocide, fucking hates black people, and is likely on Epstein's list and whatever. Like, just bring up that Trump is a rapist and a pedophile and shit like that. But the Democrats are afraid to do that. And that's going to reflect on them either in the decline of the party or the decline of the old guard of the party as the new guard muscles its way in. Does that make sense? Will probably be hostile. They look at us like we're Hitler. They don't look at us like they're Hitler because they looked at Hitler and were less hostile to Hitler. You did a fascist salute live on air. Yeah, just call him a Nazi. Call him, the world's most powerful Nazi. Call him like, an incel Nazi. Both of which are extremely true things about Elon Musk, right? But the Democrats aren't willing to be that mean to literally Hitler. They're willing to be that mean to the left, kind of. That might be another autocorrect moment. I'm not sure what to make of that. Anywho, I talked a big game about how I was going to build a bunch of stuff, but I only built one little house there. I can, however, now edit this. Nice. But, in Democrats' minds, they view the far left as a way to get lots of people killed for chaos. Oh, yeah. Like, in the Democrats' mind, the far left is worse than literally Hitler. Yeah. I can definitely see that. What do we want to build over here? In the Legend of Korra, they view fascists as doing some bad stuff, but they have a point. Oh yeah, you told me about Legend of Korra. That sounds like some lib shit. Like absolute lib shit. Gone wild. Not appropriate for regular viewing television or something. I don't know. Oh right, I want to make a house that was like kind of shaped like that duplex over there. All that to say, call your representatives and stuff every now and again. Let them know that you know that they hate you and you hate them right back, or something like that. You know, Indivisible, like that was a really good. That's a really good go-to guide for calling your representative. Is make sure that you have a specific ask for them. Maybe not so specific that you're literally looking at U.S. legal code section blah blah blah. But having something actually to demand of them really does help in letting them know that like, oh shit, this person's actually paying attention and is dissatisfied with me particularly. Whether they take note of that from a self-interested perspective or genuinely introspect on it, doesn't matter so much as it matters that they feel the heat. And they do feel the heat when people call them. Hmm. Dang it. I kind of came into this without a plan. I'm now realizing. I thought I had some ideas formulating in my head, but then it turns out I kind of didn't. I don't know. Maybe I'll look to some of these for inspiration. It's almost 5 o'clock. I actually might want to end stream soon. Starts Minecraft stream, builds one thing, ends stream. I kind of like this. Sounds like whenever I try to do anything ever. True. Okay, I got an idea. Just a small house. I still don't know what materials I want to use for it, though. Oh, I want to talk about this house a little bit. Maybe I'll come up with some ideas for the materials I could use for this next thing. You guys ever hear of a manga called Blame? I spent a long night about a month ago just reading through Blame. It's a really good manga. I would recommend that people read it. And there's a sting, there's a plot twist that's delivered so fucking subtly, or that's like not delivered so fucking subtly, but like it's dropped so abruptly that it kind of leaves you questioning your perception of both space and time for the rest of the story, which is incredible. I only realized when someone pointed it out to me, Sylveon colors is pretty close to the trans colors. Yeah, I realized that a little while ago as well. I think like when I first played through Legends Arceus like a year and a half ago or something, whenever that game came out, I was like, oh yeah, Sylveon trans colors. Yeah, that's right. But yeah, this is a design that I really like, but it's in the style that I would imagine a dwelling would be in the manga Blame, you know? And instead of a little bit of grass around it, I tried to put like a stone brick kind of pattern that you would see. Do you think that was done on purpose? Almost definitely not. Japan not known for being particularly pro-trans. But I'm all here for people like claiming that as trans representation and as trans icon. They're trying to sneak in their agenda. Yeah, the global trans cabal of we must accept cat girls into society or something. You know, dude, conservatives will literally talk about this like cabal of they have to call them like satanic pedophiles, but really it's what they're talking about is like queer people and trans people. And what they're imagining this cabal to be doing is telling kids that it is okay if you are gay or trans. Like if you're gonna come up with a satanic cabal and accuse them of pedophilia, you should like have them doing some heinous shit. I guess it's because they've kind of dropped the mask. They actually used to be more inventive with the crimes that they imagined queer people to be doing, you know? Yeah, they point at a left at a vision of the left that is massive, jacked, and muscular, and the left is none of those things. It's like, damn, I only wish we were that cool. Like, are you kidding me? That'd be pretty cool. That'd be sick. Hmm. Ooh, here's an idea for the materials. The classic wood and cobblestone combo, but you have like logs under the windows. I might want to do that. Here's some random grass blocks that Enderman saw fit to just pick up and put elsewhere. Classic. If my mom was still alive, she'd be saying that Trump is making the world better. Well, if you'll pardon me for saying, let's be glad she's not here to say that. So we're instead left to kind of wonder. I don't think I'm going to use cobblestone stairs. I will use cobblestone for the floor. So the basic structure of the house is just going to be there's one room like this on the bottom floor, and then on the top floor there's another room like that. But there's going to be a staircase over here. Then if I do this, see like that? It'll look like this from the front. Media shapeshifters are underutilized. Always wondered as a kid if that affects their personality or sense of self. That's a question I've found myself asking whenever there's like a uh something like that in media, particularly when it comes to like the horror genre. You know, like with the media like The Thing from John Carpenter or whatever. I kind of wondered like they kind of ask this in the movie, but I think it goes unresolved that like if you're the Thing, if the Thing like assimilates you or whatever, are you still in there? You know? This could be like a little closet area, I think. Closet? Republicans mentioned? Closet? Gay? Closet? Republicans mentioned? Maybe. If anyone had the ability to shapeshift, they'd experiment with their body in interesting ways. Yeah, I'd probably do that. Dude, being a shapeshifter would be sick for like, you know, being non-binary and stuff. You could assume whatever form you wanted to match how you're feeling. It would be great. Kind of wish I was a shapeshifter now. Damn. It's everyone's dream, especially trans people. Oh yeah. Yeah, people just at a fundamental level, people just like to express themselves. And part of that is that like literally what shape and size you are as a like as a person, you know? So I still want to do the thing where the logs are below the windows, but instead of having those logs at the corners, I don't want the logs to consume too much of the structure. So I'm going to have it basically just be a wooden box. But then, like, whenever there's a window, I'll do something like this. You'll see there's a window there. We'll see how that looks. Hold on. I don't think that looks very good. Whoops. I still want to do like this basic shape of house. I'm just gonna have to find some better materials. There's a lot of houses where I used oak wood. Kind of wish The Boys, the show, has this next season after this era of fascism is over. Uh, yeah, that would be good. I think, you know, tends to fascism tends to be hostile to the production of anti-capitalist and anti-fascist media. You know, it's been known to happen. Oh, okay. I got an idea. Easy idea. You can get some inspiration off what happens. That is true. Yeah, what was it recently? Google removed still has hope in it. Yeah, Invincible is a much brighter alternative to that. What was it? I think like Google Calendar was like competing to be as unwoke as they could possibly be, and they ended up just like fucking removing Holocaust Remembrance Day from their calendar. It's like, bro, you didn't need to put on the Nazi uniform right away, right? Like I'm sure you had some leeway still. God damn. You know? So we'll use sandstone instead of wood. Do something more like this. But yeah, with Google, not just Holocaust Remembrance Day, with like Queer History Month, or not Queer History, Pride Month, excuse me, and then Black History Month they removed from their calendars, uh, and I forget what else. I think Indigenous Peoples Day they might have removed, but the one that stuck out to me was Holocaust Remembrance Day. Yeah, they didn't even say why, right? Or they did. They lied. They said like, oh, you know, it's because they were taking up too much space on the app. Haha. Like that was their excuse. Like you fucking coward pieces of shit. You know. There we go. That's a nice staircase. Something like that. Easy. And then this is basically going to kind of look like a two-story version of this other house, probably. One did, yeah, okay. Well, for that one, I did something like this. Funny how Minecraft has become its own version of art. Yeah, people do a lot of artistic things with Minecraft as a game. Um, 7? That's not good for what I'm doing here, but okay. Um, you know, like it's people have used Minecraft to do a lot of like pixel art and stuff. Let's do something like this. Probably. Yeah, that works. Okay. Pixel art is a big thing in Minecraft, which is cool. And then also, feeling is a little bit low. Um, like redstone stuff. There's all sorts of crazy fucking redstone contraptions that I could never create in a million years. You know? Uh-oh. Now, different problem. Or not. This game is basically in public domain. Yeah, kind of. You know, I genuinely wonder how if Minecraft or Microsoft tried to like sue people over like, you mentioned Minecraft, you played Minecraft or something, that's our copyright, so we're gonna need a quintillion bajillion dollars. Thank you. This is the basic shape that I kind of want to work with here. We'll go in here, we'll put some windows. Like that. Ooh, yeah, that probably looks really good from the outside. Yeah, that's cool. You seen how bad the boys comic is? Yes, I have seen that. I have seen the absolute abject horror of reading the boys comic book. I feel like this is still pretty basic. Um, there's a reason I'm doing this. Yeah, people wonder like, why is the show different? Because it would suck otherwise. Okay, and the reason I'm doing this is because I can do that, kind of. Hold on. There we go. You got a child, someone like Invincible. Well, Invincible didn't get his powers till he was like 17, right? Oh wait, hold on. I there's some conflicting visions in my head of what I could do with this house, but I think I'll just go with what I've currently got. I mean, personality-wise, just in general. Yeah, I mean, it'd be pretty scary once they got their powers, but you know. That doesn't necessarily work. Superpowered child. Well, Invincible wasn't superpowered as a kid. That's the thing, right? But yeah, if you had a kid with superpowers, that would be like that would make me shit myself constantly. Now, you know what? I think that roof kind of doesn't work super well unless it's a little bit flatter of a house. See, like it works here. Maybe what I should do, just kind of make it like a more regular looking roof shape. There. Oh yeah, this is gonna look good. Here, I even had an idea about if I make this like one higher. Uh, and then do this. Not that. You do this. Yeah. Yeah. How do people act like Hitler's the only person in the Nazi party that was bad? That's like, I mean, it's basically Hitler's what we remember of the Nazis, right? Like, I'm sure people like would like, oh yeah, Himmler, Goebbels, all the like the other fucking Nazis that were part of the party. Like, yeah, they're also massive evil stacks of shit and deserve to like be sentenced to death at The Hague, right? Joseph Mengele, yeah. Even if he didn't exist, they still would have happened. Oh yeah, he was just the face of it, you know. There we go. A little desert abode. I think that looks nice. Mussolini and to some extent the Spanish Phalangists were the first fascists, so they would have inspired someone in Germany all the same. Yeah. And I mean, like, fascism was coming to prominence in Germany, whether or not, like, you know, like you said, whether or not Hitler was there, the German capitalists, the German industrialists were funding a fascist movement in Germany. Like, they had already, like, decided, yeah, we need to basically, like, we're going to consolidate our interests behind this reactionary push here. And conveniently, it also aligns with some shit that people widely believed at the time, you know, anti-Semitism and stuff. You know? Class you like more, cube or flat? I don't know. I actually I go back and forth on occasion. You'll see some houses where I use the panes, the glass panes, and you'll see some where I use the glass blocks. I go back and forth on which one I think looks better. Right now, I prefer the glass panes because you can actually, if you have a nice big window in the house, you can go up to it and do this. You can like stand up on the windowsill and get a nice vantage point from outside. But I recognize the cube, the glass blocks are really good if you have some like window dressing that you want to put on them, because then I've found that like if you try to do this kind of like window dressing with the pretend window shutters on a glass pane, the depth of the glass pane is actually a little bit distracting. So you want the focus to mostly be on the trap doors themselves. So you see here the glass is flush with the rest of the blocks, but you can see the trap doors coming out like that. So for windows where I'm putting those shutters, I prefer the glass blocks, but usually I tend to prefer panes if there's not going to be any of these, right? It's all about the kind of texture I'm giving to the house. Now I'm wondering, is there could be like maybe on the corners here a little bit, I could add some rougher sandstone like that. Maybe not quite like that. Yeah, I think that actually looks really good. We added like uh, add one more. No, that's a little bit too much. I want to still have it like sparingly applied. Yeah, there we go. Wow, soliciting? That's a ban. Got him. Invincible, what's your opinion about Cecil? Cecil, not Cecil. I mixed up Cecil and like Weasel. Opinion on Cecil. I think he's a really cool character. Uh, and he's a better fucking human being than like 99% of people that have ever held an office in government of like that level of prominence. You know? Bro is genuinely like defense of Earth pilled. Um and not in and like behaves in a way that makes me feel like, oh yeah, if the corporations like dictated, yeah, we should just give up and let the Viltrumites win, you'd be like, fuck you. Give me all your money. I'm going to research another nosebleed laser to point directly at whoever, you know? Yeah, he has principles. At least that is what I get the sense of, and I respect that. That's good. I like this. Then I can do something like that. Make a better president than Trump. I mean, yeah. So far, season 3 has been good. Well, that's nice. Got a little path here. Sometimes it helps me to imagine the house in a broader context. Like with this house and with another building that I made that was desert themed, I actually imagine that it's in like this harsh, like pretty harsh desert in environment, and that there are sometimes like there are sandstorms and stuff that will occur. And I imagine that it's like built to, even though sandstorms aren't like a thing that can happen in Minecraft, right? Like you can't, that's not a thing unless you have some weather mod installed, you know? No, I cannot imagine personally. I've seen season 2 and I was like, dude, that's kind of like, don't know how I feel about that. Or I mean, like, I feel a certain way, but like, Invincible's mom's just got to be like constantly just going through it. You know? Yeah, that's good. Now let's go inside. Start setting up shop in here. It's had romantic feelings for an ant. That's true. Oh, yeah, husband. It'd be Mark's dad. So let's do. I always tend to do a white bed with like a desert themed house. You know, in the past. I've done like an orange bed or like light blue. Uh, but white is a pretty safe color choice for a sandstone house. Oh, wait a minute. I didn't change these stairs. Well, hold on. Let's fix that. Okay. Cool. And I know that it seems claustrophobic, but this is genuinely, this is something that I might build in survival mode. Like, if I went into a survival world, I could see myself building something like this. Get some, trapdoors. I always like to use these for decoration. Barrels? Yes, please. Okay. Oh, smooth stone slab. I have an idea of what I want to do with the bed in this house. And I will do this. All right. No, hold on. Here, let's put torch here, and then torch, like, I don't know, here. Nice and easy. Yeah, okay. There's one house that I might be actually quite a long distance from here, so maybe I won't go look at it. Something like this. And then oh no, yeah, I got it. So table there, barrels here, more barrels here, and then there you go. That's the bed. Little thing there. Maybe I can get it a painting as well. Can't believe they had boar in it. Yeah, that was fucked up. That scene is fucked up. In some stories, I wonder what would be like if a creature gained full human development instantaneously without any of the knowledge. It would be very strange. And they would vote Republican. Clip that shit. Here, oh! Nice little aesthetic trick. You can put signs on these to make them look a little bit more like drawers. Some people do the item frame thing with like an upside down slab, but I actually don't like that as much. There we go. Now, I can do some stuff down here. I'll have like I don't think I've ever heard your opinion after you finished season 2 of Invincible. I liked it. I liked Invincible season 2. Uh, they had the balls to make everybody just fucking having the worst time ever, which is not something that a lot of shows are willing to commit to. So it was quite something, and I enjoyed it. Although there were some points where I felt like it risks going into the whole like comic book big blockbuster show kind of territory, if that makes sense. Yeah, people do just get their butts whooped a lot in Invincible season 2. Do that as well. Trying to make this something I would actually do in survival mode. No, wait. This could be where the furnaces are. Yeah. Okay. I've got it. I've got it. I do not got it. Thank you. Open the door. Thank you. Get me back down here. Take that shit out of here. Uh, something like this. No, not like that. Like this. Right? Giant robot. Oh, giant robot face battle? I don't know if I remember what that one was. Or barrels down there. Met the robot face guy? I don't think the giant was supposed to be in there. Guy who says I have a lot of money. I still don't remember. It's been a little while since I saw Invincible Season 2. No, don't know about the smoke replacement? Yeah. Um, you know what I could also do? I could do something like, this might make more, well, doesn't make a ton of sense. The guy who's a giant rock. Fuck, how am I not remembering this? Gonna go to sleep, see you later. See ya. Powerless robot face guy's like, I'm a capitalist, I got money to hire people. Oh, yeah, okay, I got it. Yep, that guy. That's right. That was the guy he helped in the last season, right? This actually might be a better aesthetic placement of the furnaces and stuff. Yeah. Okay. Got a nice house. Cool. Actually, I'll put some I'm gonna put some I didn't mean to do that. I'm gonna put some lanterns out here. I don't know why I have two. There we go. Nice. It's hard to take him seriously. Yeah, it was hard to take that guy seriously. The guy who like had a computer chip for a brain. Like it was almost like he did inserting a new computer chip into his brain or whatever was like him doing drugs or something, which was kind of funny. All right. There we go. Okay, now I built two things instead of one thing. Ah, this is why I don't stream Minecraft that much. It always like I always need to have room to commentate on stuff, and I feel like um I feel like when I'm playing Minecraft, the creative process kind of takes over, and that requires most of my brain power. And as a result, I kind of lose out with the political commentary. You guys saw that earlier, like when I was talking about the Axios article. It took me forever to get through that. You're getting ads on YouTube saying if you've been using the hub too much. Classic. YouTube telling people to stop junking it. Anyways, I've done what I came here to do. I'll be back on probably Saturday. I don't have much going on Saturdays. And I wanted to stream today specifically so I could have like that space for myself. Um with any luck, I'll probably be playing like Mario Kart next time, and I I might even go back through. Well, we'll see how it turns out with me having talked about the Democrats this stream. I might do it again next stream. There are definitely most of the stuff I wrote down to talk about this stream I didn't get to. The only things I think I talked about were RFK Jr. and how pathetic and spineless the Democrats are. I didn't talk about the Department of Ed, which is right in my wheelhouse. I didn't talk about Medicaid or like how there's a really funny study I saw that confirms all my anti-conservative biases, um, and all that other stuff. Yes, I've been quiet this month. What? I'm not sure what you're asking. ICE, the kidnapping organization. Oh, okay, 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 okay. Is it me or has ICE been quiet this month? Yeah, I haven't heard a whole lot from that. Probably because what I did hear was that there were a lot of like protests from school students against ICE and their deportation like uh directives and stuff. And the last thing I heard about it was that they like miserably failed to meet all their arrest quotas and stuff, which is great. But it does seem like the communities that ICE is raiding are organizing defenses to prevent them from raiding them. Even a lot of like MAGA types don't want ICE to come and raid their neighborhoods, right? Like the you know people who know undocumented people in Germany, people were literally ratting on their neighbors who were hiding Jews in like the attic or the basement or something. That kind of social climate doesn't exist in America because at an interpersonal level, immigrants are too human uh for them. You know what I mean? Like the requisite cultural dehumanization of the outgroup doesn't exist for that. What's up with the Minecraft symbol being broken? That is because I have a resource pack active. And it kind of breaks the logo, but that's fine. Anyways, I'll see you guys on probably Saturday. Hopefully Saturday. If not, then oh well, might be.